are talking about it as an April Fool's thing, but I mean, some people are thinking it could be realistic. Him coming back.
In terms of him coming back, would it make sense?
It does make sense.
It does, but it doesn't. It does in the sense of, the familiarity, and James is still a good back.
And just football-wise, that's
right,
probably the best way to put it. Yeah.
But to me, it doesn't make sense because, number one, you're bringing him back to the same situation from an offensive lineman standpoint, and we know he struggled when that offensive line didn't, do what they were supposed to do up front. And I don't know if he's going to be capable of changing that right now without dealing with another potential injury. And we just know the track record with him as it pertains to that. It's one of those things, even if it's nothing serious this year, as soon as he pops on the injury report, we already know the perception. We already know what that's going to feel like for him and for us. I just think change the scenery. But we have to remember that, like I said, James is still a good back. So upgrading him, you have to draft a guy earlier. You're not going to be able to find a guy that's better than James Conner going for the 2021 season in round 4, 5, 6, or 7, or in undrafted. I personally don't think you're going to find that guy. Will you find a guy that could be a part of a committee? Sure. But I don't think you're going to find a guy better than James Conner that late. Which is why, for me, I'm saying they got to do, if they're going to go running back, second, third round, at worst. If they can surprise us and do it in the first round, great. But I just don't think they're going to do that. But that's my thing, because people really look at James, and it's kind of similar to how they view Mason to an extent, in terms of how good you think he is, right? Some people think he's really good, some people think he's really bad. James, some people think he's really good, still has something left. Some people think that, man, he's too beat up, he's too banged up, he doesn't have it anymore. I think that James is on the other side. I think that he still can get it done, but he has to be in the right situation, and he has to have a really good offensive line in front of him. And right now, we know that our offensive line is probably going to be the weakest position group on offense for us. Like that's what I'm thinking right now. So if that's the case, we're going to need some action at back. We're going to need some action in that running back, though. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense football-wise.
It does. And cost-wise, it's not going to be expensive. I mean, you think Philip Lindsay signed for what? 2? Was it? No, it was up to 3 or 4 with incentives, but I think he's going to get around 2 initially. Yeah, James is not going to get more than that. So, yeah.
But it just feels like it's over, though.
Yeah, when you bring in Kalen, I just don't see the purpose of you bringing back James right now, because, I mean, can't we say some of the things about Kalen? You've already said it, right? Bigger back, shows some, ability in terms of receiving, has been a little bit elusive. You can see if he could put it together, he could be really good, right? He could be a feature guy. We say some of the things about James, even though James has shown a lot more in terms of productivity and stability of lately because of the injuries, because of the lack of availability. The conversation is always when healthy. We always have to throw that caveat. When he's available, when he's good to go 100%, we know what we get from him. But typically, we don't get that as often lately.
Yeah. I just don't think it's happening. I'm not opposed to it. I think if it does happen, or if we did re-sign him, part of me is just like, man, again, cause like you said, like the moment he gets hurt, it's just gonna feel like
like we've been here before.
We're just doing the carousel.
Yeah,